Hey Planeswalkers, this is Eric again from Bane Alley Magic, and today I'm going to be talking about the spoilers from the up-and-coming Modern Horizons set. But first, I'd like to just remind you to please hit that like button or that subscribe button, helps out a lot. Another thing before we begin, I've become kind of bogged down with some personal stuff, so the videos might be less frequent now, every other week maybe instead of every week. What I'd really love is to do Bane Alley Magic for a living.
It might happen. Yeah, and monkeys might fly out of my butt.
But until then, I need to work a normal job. So, in case you haven't heard already, the new Modern Horizons set is only going to contain cards that are not standard legal. As far as what they are exactly going to be legal for, the details are fuzzy, but from what I gather, it seems like the reprints are all going to be legacy legal, and the new cards, the new prints, are all going to be modern and legacy legal. And this sounds amazing to me, and I can't wait. The only concern I have is the cost. At this moment, the price of Modern Horizons booster packs is uncertain, but the fact that there are going to be legacy reprints makes me believe that they are going to be at least $10 a piece. I personally hope that Wizards evaluates not only the current value of the reprints, but also how much those values will diminish after the set is released. That is where I believe Wizards failed with the Ultimate Masters set. Take Eldrazi Conscription for example. So this card was over $15 the month before Ultimate Masters was released, and lots of people were really excited to see it getting reprinted. However, now the set has come and the hype has died down, and the market price dropped all the way down to $3.91. That means it's a very disappointing card to get in a pack that you just spent $15 on. I personally think if Wizards is going to charge $15 a pack, they should try their best to make sure the cards are going to remain somewhat valuable after the set is released. That's my hope anyway, we'll see what happens, but so far, these cards actually look really good. So, the first of the two spoilers we're going to talk about is Cabal Therapist. He's a 1/1 horror for 1 black with menace, which means it can't be blocked except for by 2 or more creatures. And at the beginning of your pre-combat main phase, you may sacrifice a creature. When you do, choose a non-land card name, then target player reveals their hand and discards all the cards with that name. So, this is obviously a flashback to the old card Cabal Therapy. So Cabal Therapy is a card that is really great when your deck has lots of ways of looking at your opponent's hand. It goes good with cards like Telepathy, and of course any of those cards that are 1 black mana that let you know what's in your opponent's hand. What makes Cabal Therapy potentially more powerful than those other 1 black mana spells is that you can possibly make your opponent discard multiple cards. I mean, just imagine if you were playing against something like a Persistent Petitioner's deck, or a Relentless Rats deck or something like that. So, the potential for Cabal Therapy is really high, and the potential for Cabal Therapist is even higher, though it comes with the added risk of, it might not survive long enough to trigger in the first place. But if it does survive, you have a lot of potential for just 1 black mana. And let's not forget that it has Menace, which can come in pretty handy. Besides discard decks, this also obviously goes really well with reanimation decks, sacrificing creatures like Bloodghast and Blood-Soaked Champion and quickly getting them back. Even if you don't have another creature to sacrifice, the Therapist can sacrifice itself. You also have the option of targeting yourself with a Therapist's ability, so you can put key cards into your graveyard. Another thing that really excites me about Cabal Therapist is that it's a horror. Until now, there has only been 1 horror for 1 mana that's really worth it to play, and that's Cataract Parasite. Now that we have 2 good horrors for the 1-drop slot, maybe there is potential for a Rakdos or Grixis horror tribal deck. There are already lots of powerful horror cards like, Scourge Wolf, Bedlam Reveler, Skin Invasion, Plague Stinger, Spellskite, Thing in the Ice, Phyrexian Revoker, just to name a few. I think the potential is definitely there, and a horror tribal deck would be really cool to see. Cabal Therapist is certainly powerful in 1 vs. 1. In Commander, it can go in pretty much any graveyard-themed deck, and it would also be at home with something like Send Triplets or Croesus the Purger. So, next we have our Planeswalker, Serra, the Benevolent. This is really exciting because we have all seen the name Serra come up again and again, all the way back to something like the Legends set with, I think it's called Serra's Palace, but never have we ever seen the embodiment of Serra on a card. So, Serra the Benevolent is 4 mana, 2 and 2 white for a Planeswalker that enters with 4 loyalty counters. Good deal. And for +2, creatures you control with flying get +1/+1 until the end of the turn. For -3, you create a 4/4 white angel creature token with flying and vigilance. And for -6, you get an emblem with if you control a creature, damage that would reduce your life total to less than 1 reduces it to 1 instead. So, 4 mana for a Planeswalker that enters with 4 loyalty counters is already a good deal, but the fact that she can immediately make a 4/4 vigilant flying blocker is huge. And for me, that is probably one of the best parts of this card. She not only makes a defender, she makes a vigilant defender who can attack with 5 power on the next turn. That's awesome. It's always useful for a Planeswalker to be able to defend themselves. The other 2 abilities also fit the card very well. The +2 ability seems a little weak, and it is, but it has to be to balance out the awesomeness of the other 2. The important thing is that it's a +2 ability, so as long as she takes no damage, we can ultimate Serra on the turn after we cast her. The emblem that she gives us is just like the card Worship, and very fitting for this Planeswalker. Just remember that even with the emblem, someone can still drain your life total below 0 without dealing you actual damage. Still, unless someone has a card that specifically says you lose life, or maybe they mill you out, you are pretty much invincible, and the emblem, unlike an enchantment, will never go away. The only way to ever get rid of emblems is to ultimate Karn Liberated, and good luck with that. Serra the Benevolent is a great card for pretty much any white deck. I mean, who does not want that emblem? Who does not want a 4/4 flying Vigilant Angel? I have a feeling this card is going to have a very similar effect to History of Benalia, where we're going to see it in a lot of decks that it does not necessarily synergize with, but it will still give them great value in the 4-drop slot. Where I think Serra fits best is in either an Angel Tribal or a Control deck. We have many more Angels now than ever before, and they are super powerful. A modern Angel deck could possibly be on the horizon. Serra fits really well into the Control strategy because of her emblem. Having something like that emblem is exactly what Control players want. It's a way to nullify almost anything your opponent can throw at you, and therefore it gives you the time you need to find your combo pieces or lock your opponents out completely. Overall, I think both of these cards are great. They are definitely going to see some modern play and hopefully stir the pot a bit. Well, that's it for today, folks. Be on the lookout for more deck tech videos coming out soon. This is Eric from Bane Alley Magic signing off. Until next time, take care, take it easy.